We are taking a look at Memory of Chaos for version 4.1. This one is entitled Grand Finale. We're going to check out the buff, the bosses, talk about some teams, and do a little demo. So to start, the buff for this one says after an ally target uses an attack, they gain 1 punchline and adds corresponding amount of charge to Memory of Turbulence, stacking up to 20 points. And for every stack, you get 1 instance of true damage when the cycle changes. So this sounds like it might favor Elation team, and it kind of does, because of course they can generate punchline faster. But in practice, since the buff includes giving you a punchline for every attack, most teams are probably going to hit the 20 points or get very close anyway, since there's a stack. I think if there was no limit or the cap was higher, then it would favor Elation a little bit more, but really you're just going to play how you normally play and probably get it. So I wouldn't worry too much about this one. It's just some nice extra damage. And as I always say in Memory of Chaos, these buffs are not really all that important, because if you're playing well, you're not going to be changing cycles that often anyway. So that is pretty straightforward. Let's look at Node 1. We've got the Nikador boss fight. And so if you're familiar with Nikador, he starts with special armor that has a certain number of stacks that go away every time that you hit him. And you need to do that in order to do full damage to him. The other aspect of this fight is he summons a bunch of spears, and in this particular version, they do massive damage if you kill the spears. So you're going to want to take out the spears after you've reduced his armor, or kind of do it all at the same time if you can. And that's pretty much all you have to worry about. So since the armor usually takes like 12 hits to reduce, any characters that are going to be doing some very frequent attacks, like follow-up attacks, or any really fast teams, then that's going to help you take his armor out quickly. And also some good AoE damage or anything that can take those spears out quickly is going to be helpful. Ashvale's ultimate is actually very effective against the spears, because it will just take out whatever the lowest HP target is after defeating one of them. So Ashvale's actually pretty good in this fight. You can use Casterus to brute force it. She matches up well with the elements, with the quantum, and she can take out those spears pretty quickly. Kind of anybody that's good AoE, so like the Herda. I've even used Jing Yuan in this mode, and he did pretty good. But we're going to use Sparxie today. She's also very good on this fight. I'm going to give her one last hurrah as a solo DPS until Silver Wolf comes out. So we'll check that out in the demo. As for the second node, we've got the Kafka fight, and Kafka's an old boss, so she's not very complicated. All you need to know is that she will stun you. It's probably going to happen, and you need to have frequent debuff cleanses available to both clear that and the dots that she adds on you, mostly because of the stun. You don't want to be stunned, because she'll mind control you and attack the team and all that, and you lose turns. So any sustain that's going to be frequently in between turns cleansing. So Dan Heng PT, of course, which most people should have, Linksha, or Hyacine, of course, too, which a lot of people have. They all frequently cleanse the entire team. So very helpful to have one of them in this fight. Other than that, you can kind of just pick whoever your strongest team is, and that might be able to match up with the elements well, or a lot of the strong teams don't care about elements. So it could be your break team, it could be your dot team. I like Finon here, because Finon is just naturally immune to the debuffs, and he lines up well with the elements. And it's kind of nice in this fight where most of the fight is only 3 enemies on the field at a time, so his bounce attack is very effective. It is a little harder to charge the bounce attack, but I think it works out pretty good. So, you could try, and anybody else that's going to line up with the elements, you could try maybe Saber. I've done it with. We're going to use Mydei today, since he is the imaginary, and we're going to have Hyacine with us to cleanse the debuffs. So we'll see how that goes in the demo as well. And just a little more detail on the teams. I like to do these demos with E0 DPS characters. So for the Sparxie team, I've got E0 S1 Sparxie. I've got E1 S1 Yao Guang, E0 S0 Sparkle using Dance Dance Dance, and E0 S1 Dan Heng PT. And then for Mydei's team, he's also E0 S1. I have E1 S0 Tribbie, also with Dance Dance Dance. I've got E0 S1 Cyrene and E1 S1 Hyacine. So it's a little bit of a higher investment team, but support wise, but I always say you should invest in supports. It makes sure your DPS is better. So let's see how things go in the demo. Okay, so starting with the Nikador fight. With the last hurrah of solo DPS Sparxie here. Give her one more shot by herself before Silver Wolf comes out. Okay, so this is another enemy too that has that same armor effect as Nikador, so you can see it counting down when we hit him. And I think I already made one mistake. I should have used Sparxie's buff first before I used Guang's ultimate, because then she could have buffed the team first. That's alright. We'll be fine. And with Sparkle's ability to overflow on her skill points with her ultimate, there's kind of no reason to hold it. You want to make sure you're gaining as much energy as possible if you take a hit or whatever. Okay. So we'll see if we can get this in zero cycle for the first wave. I'm not going to zero cycle it total for sure. We'll probably get like 2 cycles at E0. Okay, that was a nice easy... We didn't lose a cycle on the first wave. Okay, so you'll see with Nikador, if you're not familiar, he's got a little number next to him. Right now it says 507. So every time we hit him with any attack, that number will go down. And those are the spears, so we're going to want to take out the spears to do massive damage to him. And Sparxie's kind of big bomb with her relation skill is very nice for helping us with that. Now we are a bit off element, so it's a little hard to break with this team. But for Memory of Chaos, that's fine. We're just going to keep building punchlines so that we can hit pretty hard when Aha comes up. Okay, I'm going to use Yao Guang's ult first. It's because that'll give us a little extra punchline for the main Aha instant. How are we looking health-wise on those spears? Okay, there you go. See that massive damage because we took out all the spears. Okay, so now you'll see we have a number 1 over our head. Oh, you know what? It didn't come up. It'll probably come up again in this second phase. Yeah, there it is. So this is a little different if you just did the Apocalyptic Shadow one. I believe you can only get 2 stacks total, but it's if you do a skill or an ultimate, you'll gain a stack. It's also a lot different than the Apocalyptic Shadow one because Nikador only gets the 12 out of 12 armor and the spears aren't armored, so you know it's fine if we can only get 2. We're just gonna blow up the spears anyway, hopefully. I'm actually going to skill with Danny so that he can get the 2. I guess I would have got it from his ultimate as well, but whatever. Okay. See that nice chunk of damage from taking out one of the spears. I think we're going to take out at least one more on the aha instant. Maybe more. Yep. Big chunky damage. Alright. Nice. That is a clutch dance, dance, dance. You see what it's doing? I'm getting a whole extra turn before this cycle changes. So we're probably going to get a 1 cycle instead of a 2 cycle because of dance, dance, dance. Well, maybe. Can Sparxie finish it off here? He does have full armor, so I don't think she will, actually. Yeah. That's unfortunate. I was hoping maybe I could get a Yao Guang in there, but alright, it's fine. A little tweaking and we might have been able to get the 1 cycle there. It was pretty close. But 2 cycles very good for an E0 DPS. Alright, so it's Kafka time. We've got Mydei. Alright, I gotta be careful when to use Hyacine's skill. I wanted to get her ultimate up as quickly as possible there, so I did it. But in the early going, it's very important to prioritize getting Cyrene's ultimate up. So you want to make sure she always has a skill point. You know, look ahead if you have to on the turn order. And thankfully, Mydei is skill point neutral, and Tribbie is generally skill point positive. But that is not the case with Hyacine, so like right now I can afford to Hyacine's skill because Tribbie is up next and Tribbie does not need to skill. Okay. Mydei has my favorite healing line where he says, "I can't die, but thanks." Okay, well, that decision was made for me since I'm out of skill points. But we are almost at full with Cyrene's ult. Okay, so that'll do it. So first I'm going to hit Tribbie to hit her buff. And then I'm going to... let's do Tribbie's ult to reset her follow-up attacks. We'll do Hyacine's to heal Mydei, and then we'll do his ult. And then we'll use Cyrene's ult to call him back up. Okay. That's a lot of things happening. Okay, so Cyrene's effect on Mydei is we get the Godslayer be Godslaying punch for free for big damage. Alright, I do gotta be careful at Cyrene's, or not Cyrene, Hyacine's ult up time. Okay. Now, I have not learned the nuance of when exactly to use Cyrene on Mydei. So, if anybody understands it better than I do, please leave it in the comments. Okay, so I did need a skill point for Tribbie. Wow, she just tried to mind control little Ika. That was a mistake. Little Ika really tanking some hits for me here. Okay, so Tribbie needs the skill point to re-up her ability, so we're just gonna have to lose some downtime or some uptime on her Hyacine's ult. Okay, I'm tempted to hit Hyacine with it to just get her ult back up. Her ultimate is very important for HP characters. A little less important for Mydei, I guess, but it does increase your max HP significantly. Even more so since I have her E1. Oh wow, it didn't give me the ult either. That's bad. Okay, I think I can afford to skill now. You can see little Ika starting to do some pretty massive damage. Little Ika is secretly the main DPS in this team. Okay, that did a little more damage than little Ika. Just a little bit. Okay, we're almost there. Can we finish this before the cycle ends? I don't know. Yes, we can, because Tribbie is going to get that... Nope, never mind. Tribbie did it. I had the Cyrene ult loaded, though. Okay, great. So that also was 2 cycles for a total of 4 between both of them. Very solid clear with 2 easier DPS. Like I said, I have some investment in the supports, but, you know, if you don't have the Eidolons on the supports, it'll probably just drop you down another cycle or 2. You'll still get a pretty comfortable clear, I think, with those 2 teams and some of the other ones I recommended. So hopefully you found that helpful or at least entertaining. If you like this kind of thing, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.